Hi.
Hi, are you sure this course is just for 2499?
Yes, and you know this is the only course with this expertise across the world.
No way!
Yes, way. Don't delay. Enroll now.
Geeks learning together.
So, hello everyone, welcome back to Geeks for Geeks. My name is Muskan Agarwal, and firstly, without saying anything, I would like to apologize for there has been a slight delay to this webinar, and I could see a lot of comments that you guys are not able to see the video or anything. So, yeah, apologies for that. But now we have Hukam with us. He's going to tell about how to prepare for interviews at OLX, and also he's going to help out the students in their placement journey in general. So yes, this webinar is going to be very excited, and I am also very excited for the same. So before I add him to the stream, I just want you guys to let me know in the comment section if I'm perfectly visible and audible. Just give me a thumbs up if I'm perfectly visible and audible. I will just wait for another 30 seconds for you guys to confirm me. Yeah. Thank you, Satyam. Thank you, Praveen, for confirming. So now I will add Hukam to the stream. Hi, Hukam. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you, Muskan? Thanks for having me. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for doing this. Thank you for helping out the students. It really helps out, whenever we are preparing for the interviews. So if anybody has already been through that phase and they share their experience, it's really helpful. So, yes, before starting with the webinar, I would like you to give a brief introduction about yourself to the audience.
Yeah. So myself, Hukam, and I come from very middle class family, and my education has also been from JP Institute of Information and Technologies, and there I studied under Sandeep sir, now the co-founder of Geeks for Geeks. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it has been a great journey. Then after my college, I joined Direction as a graduate engineer trainee, and after 4 months, I was promoted as a software developer, and after 2 years, I was promoted as a senior software developer. Then now, after working there for around 6 years, I thought of switching now, and I switched to OLX as SD2. So
Hmm.
currently, I'm working here as SD2. So
Okay.
that's more brief intro. Yeah.
Okay, that's really great. Also, I was very interested to know, like, all of us already know that what OLX is, but still, for the people who are not aware about it, can you tell a brief introduction? Like, what does OLX do? What do you guys work on?
Yeah, so it is like it is it is an internet platform which is basically C2C. Like there's one customer who's going to sell something, and there's another customer who's going to buy it. So there are many use cases that goes behind it, and but still there are many use cases they are working on right now. Like they are launching OLX Autos, so I am been deployed into that branch for OLX Autos. So it is moreover toward like C2D, like consumer to dealer, and then dealer to consumer. That kind of a model they are using. So that's where we are working. Yeah.
Okay, that's really great. Also, you told me that you shifted your job, right, to OLX as an SD2. So, like, how did you get to know about the job opportunity? Because I see a lot of students, like, they are not even aware about the job opportunities that are there at various companies. So, how did you get to know about the opportunity?
Yeah, so basically, when I tried for looking out, so I posted my resume and profile over Naukri, and there I got many job opportunities. I had like six offers already, and but then I thought of switching to LinkedIn. So on LinkedIn, I found many premium quality of calls. So I could get calls from Adobe, Microsoft, Google, and also OLX. So all these calls got converted through LinkedIn. Yeah. So there are many recruiters over LinkedIn, and they do approach, and and we can also approach to them, and they are very friendly. Yeah, that helps.
Yeah, actually, LinkedIn is a great platform. If you use it correctly, it can help you a lot, right?
Yeah, sure,
Yes.
definitely.
Yes, I have seen a lot of people like they directly message the HRs or some people from the company and they get direct interviews from there, right? Without applying on their career pages or anything.
Yeah,
So,
sure. Yeah, that happens actually. When a recruiter approaches you, I mean, your profile should be good looking. If they
right,
feel that you could be a good candidate, if they approaches you, that is a very positive call. Like you will get an interview done. That's moreover that has happened with me.
right, right. Also, talking about this, I would like to know like how should we design our LinkedIn profile? Like we should structure our LinkedIn profile in particular way, right? So that a recruiter notices you because there are thousands of profiles, right? So what
Mhm.
profiles stand out from the rest? So some of the key points if you
Uh,
can state out.
yeah, from my learning, I've learned that your profile should be, there's a pointer like how much your profile is complete. So what I think is it should be 100% complete from the LinkedIn side itself. Like your all the details, experiences that should be there, and there should not be any mismatch over there. Your profile picture should be a decent one, and then you should mention all the tech stack and skills that you have. You try to mention it over there itself. You can display your certifications also. That way, it moreover looks like a type of a resume to the other person. Yeah.
Right.
So that approach should be there.
Also, also I've heard people say that don't write that looking for a job in the header. Is it true?
Uh, I'm not sure. I haven't done that because that
Yeah.
looked very desperate. But yeah, I mean, we need to negotiate with the HR also, right? In the end, so I do not mention that. Yeah,
Yeah, it can depend like from person to person. Some person might, find it useful and some not, right?
yeah, sure.
Also, about the profile picture, like we should keep it professional. I think I see a lot of profile pictures which are not very professional and not clear also sometimes.
Right.
So yeah,
That should be there without minimum filters and a clear picture, like a passport picture should be the kind of a picture should be there. So that makes it more appealing, a professional kind of a thing. That is.
right, right. Also, the next question I would like to put up that, at OLX, how many interviews can we expect? So here I'm talking about SD1 because I think it can vary from SD1 and SD2. So let's
Yeah.
talk about SD1.
Yeah, even for there are folks who have connected to me on LinkedIn also. They asked me, like how the process goes. So there were few SD ones also. They asked for my help, so I tried to help them. So it's like moreover they'll have 6 rounds on in total, and it varies. They can also have 5 also. So in the 6 rounds, the first round will be a coding round. So there'll be an interviewer, and he'll give you two coding questions, and yeah, one will be a longer one, and one will be a smaller one.
Hmm.
So he'll share you, he or she will share you a document, Google Doc, and you'll have to write your code over there. And the second round is towards LLD, so low level design. So they will, even if it is for SD1, the structure goes like this only. So they goes for a LLD, then HLD. Third round is HLD. You do not need to, if you are going for SD1, you don't need to have that much information, but yeah, you should have a brief idea of things like how it
Basic.
goes. And in the fourth round, it goes more over like the overall. They'll ask you like how they can ask you coding also, and they can ask you LLD, HLD. They'll ask you overall. And the final round is the uh, managerial round, and then the HR round goes on.
Okay. Like in college, like students are not generally so good at system design, right? So like only the basic preparation is enough for, clearing those
Yes,
rounds.
yes, yes, definitely. So when we talk about system design, we know that there is no perfect answer to any question, right? So
Correct.
so it is moreover like what how you approach towards this. What is your approach? It should make sense. That's what matters. So when I got a few questions, so one of the question was like, you have to design an online examination portal. So that was a kind of a question. So for that, even your approach should be like, how you're going to from the, even if you go, you can go from bottom to up or high, up to bottom, like how you are going, how you are approaching. Like if you are talking about design, what kind of design patterns you are going to, you think you can use, and if you are thinking from the perspective of college, so I can say that if somebody asks you that how you are going to make this application, if I give you a mobile application or web application, so how you are going to do it. So what should be your approach if you have ever worked upon any application, or for that matter. So how what would be your approach? Do you think there should be a database? Do you think there should be some kind of streaming, or what kind of request you will be receiving, what kind of response you will be giving? So that, or everything should be in your mind. It's like, it's more of you have to define the map. Like
Right.
this is how I think I can do it. Yeah.
Yeah, and there is no set answer is what I like about system design. Like you and me can have completely different approaches and both can be
Option.
correct.
Yeah. Right.
Right. And talking about the first round that you mentioned, that is the coding round, the DSA round. So, like,
Mhm.
what is the difficulty level, or if you can share some sample questions with us?
Yeah, so difficulty level is, if you are, doing some hands-on, like if you are practicing, like if you are going through problems on Geeks for Geeks or some lead code practices, if you're doing, so the questions will be of same level only. They won't be very, very tough. So they were average questions. Like moreover, they'll give you, they can even give you. I have also been given question of palindrome in the first round. So you can imagine like the palindrome question, but they'll trick you, like they'll give you a string. So the question was that there is a string, and so I have done this question on Geeks for Geek before also, so that was helpful for me. So there is a string, and you have to find, there are unique characters in a string. You have to find the smallest substring which contains all the unique characters at least. So
Hmm.
those, they can trick you. Yeah, I mean they can give you a little bit of that, but yeah, the questions will be whatever you could find them on Geeks for Geeks or all those sorts of questions. So they moreover play around arrays only. So
Right.
arrays and math. So moreover towards that. Yeah.
And as you mentioned, that the logic is more important, right, for
Yeah.
like solving the questions. Even if you're not able to solve the exact right answer with the with the optimized
Yeah.
approach, you should explain the logic.
Yeah, what matters is they'll give you a problem. You can give a very simplest solution to it, like if somebody asks you, like you have to find the substring, so you can say that I will generate all the substrings that can be generated from one string. So that is the
Right.
very worst kind of a solution that we can provide, but it works, right? So no matter how much CPU or everything we will need, but it will work, right? So they'll say you to give them an optimized solution. So there comes the real problem. Like you have to give them an optimized solution. What can be a better approach? Then if you'll give them the approach, then the person will say that okay, fine, I don't want to do it with this approach also. So try to give me one better approach. So this is where these online platforms have taught me, like wherever I've read, like, so there is a method one, there is a method two, and method three, usually in Geeks for Geeks. So yeah,
Yes.
they tell you why there is a method two and why is method three. So they'll ask you also, even if you will write something, so they'll ask you to dry run with it. So that you have to do, like if you write a pseudocode also, they'll ask you like how I am giving you a sample input and you try run with it. If the output is okay, then I'm good. So your logic should be fine. That's all that matters. Yeah.
Right. And also, I think they don't ask us to run the complete code, right? As you mentioned that we have to solve it in Google Docs.
No. They do not ask to run the complete code. And
Right.
I've given so many interviews. I'll say I've given interviews around 50 plus, but there are very rarest of them, like Amazon, Microsoft. They do have the first round coding round, but
Yeah.
then in the interview process, they never ask you to run the code there and there only. They'll ask
Yeah.
you to write the code itself. That works actually
Yeah.
wherever.
Because I think the interviewer also wants to know the logic instead of writing the exact code and everything. Correct.
Yeah.
Also, I wanted to ask, like writing a code on Lead Code or Geeks for Geeks and writing a code in an interview are two very different things, right? Because we have to give
Yes.
proper variable names. We cannot use
Yeah.
IJK, proper
Yeah.
indentation and everything. So if you
Yes.
can give out some key points that a person should remember while writing a code in an interview.
Yeah, your method name should be logical, your variable name should be logical, and wherever like I am a Java person, so I'll bring my experience. So wherever you can use, you try to use. If you have worked upon Java 8, if you say that I know Java 8 and more, then you should try and use the lesser lines of code. The least line of code instead of going and writing like, if you will find the examples like for I equals to 0 and then you are iterating over it. Instead of doing that, you can write that in a single line of code with using lambdas. So try to go through that. Use streams in while iterating. So that it really matters. That shows the interviewer that he has really worked upon the latest technologies. Yeah, that's also a plus.
Right. Also, writing proper variable names. I see some students writing IJK in interviews. I think that is a very wrong thing, like we
Yeah.
wrong impression to the interviewer, right?
Yeah, it depends actually. So moreover, when you're in the interview, if you're writing, so there'll be interviewer, and whenever you write code now, so you should keep in mind that you are not just writing.
Hmm.
Whenever you write code, you tell, if even if you're writing a variable, you tell the interviewer that I'm taking this variable. You do not start typing and you say that, okay, see, this is what I've written, and you can see that. So don't do that. Even if you write one line, tell the interviewer that this line I've wrote and this is what it means, and then to the next
Right.
line, to the next line, keep the interviewer
Engaged.
indulged.
Huh. Yeah, I think that is a very important point. Like whenever I give interviews as well, no matter I'm getting a response from the interviewer or not, I just keep saying whatever there is in my
Yeah,
mind. I just keep saying
yeah,
it.
keep saying
Even
it.
if it
Yeah.
is wrong, I just keep saying it.
Because
So yeah.
in the interviewer is watching you doing thing, right? So he'll also try to map things when you are writing. So when you will write something and you will not talk about it, so it feels like he's just writing. So he'll have to read it all through himself.
Right. And I think if we are telling what we are doing, I think he or she can also guide us. Like if we are going in the wrong way, the person will guide us in the right way. I think if we are
Yeah, yeah,
silent, then they wouldn't know.
that happens when there was a question when I was given. It was of 2D matrix. So it was a very tricky question. So I chose the wrong direction, and then he stopped me there and he said that you are doing it wrong way. This is not what I have asked. So he asked me,
Right.
and you should always ask the question when you are not clear. Just do not start writing over with it. Just ask the question clearly that what it actually, because interviewer likes it when you ask them. No, that is what comes in your professional job also. It is called requirement specification. So it is
Okay.
like the requirement should be clear what you are asked to do. You will not just say that, okay, I'll do it. I got whatever you understood. It does not mean that interviewer asks you the same. So your
Right.
clarification should be there. Even if you start half implementing it, just ask them that this is how I'm approaching, and this is what I'll do. Does that seem correct to you? So if
Hmm.
he'll say that no, 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 you cannot do this way. I want it to be implemented with map. So why don't you try with that? So he'll tell you in between only. He won't ask you to stop all in between and then try to do it all over again. No? So yeah,
Yes,
I guess.
definitely. So don't shy away from asking questions. Ask questions like till the question is clear to you and then only start solving.
Yeah.
Then the next thing I would like to ask that before interviews or online assessments, our resume is something that reaches to the company, right? So
Mhm.
do you have any tips for the resume? How can we curate a resume such that it stands out from the rest of the people? Because there are thousands of resumes that a company receives on a daily basis.
Yeah, so I'll tell you, there is no specific answer to it, but I'll tell you what my experience has been. So do only mention what you know, right? And then if you have written something, right? So that comes the second rule. First thing is you should get the HR to look at it. Right? So there is some HR or recruiter who's going to look at your resume. So why would he select it? So there is a type of specification that HR receives. Like the technical team will say that, okay, HR, give me a technical guy with this technical skills. So
Right.
he or she will come and see your profile and will check each terms. They may know it or they may not know it, but they will read those terms. Like if I am a J2E microservices Java developer, so I'll mention like Java, J2E, Spring Boot, microservices. So all that goes with that stack. So I'll keep it like that. So whenever somebody comes and so yeah. So when I updated my last resume, when I saw it on my Naukri profile, it showed that my actual views on my resume and number of downloads has increased to 500% in 2 months. So your
Okay.
resume actually matters. What you are writing into it. So your
Right.
and even if you are creating some job on some job board, you are creating your profile. You should mention your skills also. Like even if you have worked upon JavaScript or whatever platform you're using, with all the technologies that goes beyond it. Even if it is like you've used any application server like Tomcat, Wildfly, JBoss, do mention it. If you worked on it, do mention all that, because they sometimes feels, sometimes HRs calls and ask also that, okay, you have worked upon Tomcat, so have you also worked upon JBoss, because we need JBoss also. So yeah, I mean, you can mention all these things which you have really worked on, and that really helps.
Yeah, I've seen in students they are like they do not know a particular skill 100%. Like they've not done very good project. They've done some basic level projects, so they don't apply to the job openings that are there for that particular tech stack.
Mhm.
I think that should not be the case. I think if you know a skill even a little bit or like 30-40%, you can apply, and the rest of it you can learn it from that particular in that particular company or internship only, right?
Yeah, obviously. I mean, your year of experience, the interviewer is not going to ask you like he's not. Even if you're 2 years experience, no, the interviewer is not going to expect you that you know it all everything about it,
Right.
because you just started, right? So even if you will mention Java and you have just read what you've read in your college, but you should know what is OOPS.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that's what matters.
Right. Even for me, like I did few React internships in my second year. I think that internships taught me more than any course or any other classes that I would have attended. That in
Mhm.
that internship they used to give me something I did not know about it. I used to just Google or watch it on YouTube and do the task. So yeah, I think that has really worked out for me.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So the next thing I would like to ask, is there any separate, like different kind of interviews for SD2? Because you mentioned 6 round of interviews for SD1. So like, is there any
No, no,
separate
no. That's
procedure
for
for it?
SD2. For
Okay.
SD1, I think there'll be only 4 rounds. Yeah, that's
Okay.
what I know. Yeah.
4 rounds and like first round is DSA and second round
Second round
system.
HLD and LLD. Yeah.
Oh,
LLD
okay.
and
Okay.
HLD will be there.
Okay. The number of rounds decreases. Okay. Uh, Okay, so the last question I would like to ask that when a student is appearing for the interviews, I want to ask what are the interviewers actually looking for at OLX?
I think what they are looking for is you should show them the G, like you are the G, like why you want to apply for this company, and you should really study about the company also. Whenever you are applying for any company, you should study about it. Like that impresses the recruiter also, that the whoever is being interviewed is interested in the job profile or the company profile, and he or she might join also. And
Hmm.
yeah, what exactly looking for is they are into core development only. That's what I know. And so I just recently joined, so I'll tell you there are a few interns working over here, one from IIT Kharagpur and one from NIT, and they're working with me only. So yeah, I mean, those guys are also very good. So work on your DSA, and your DSA is the major part that plays the major role in your selection. And then you should know a little bit about the application structures also. Like if you are given like as a fresher, if you are given some tasks, how what would be your approach? You need to be answerable to it. Like if you're given some tasks, how would you start to it? What would be your
Right.
approach? That what matters. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Okay. Also, one thing I wanted to ask, that does OLX hire through referral?
Yes, so OLX do hire through referrals, and they are hiring a lot these days. Yeah.
Okay, so like students are watching this, they can contact people from LinkedIn. So yeah, if you want a referral, and like, is there any procedure, or like how does it happen? Like, if like somebody wants a referral, so they can directly message people who are working at OLX on LinkedIn, right? Or there's some
Yes.
separate procedure.
No, no, no. I don't think so. There is any. So there are. See, there is a job board. There also internships are posted over there. But yeah, you can still reach out to the OLX recruiters and you can tell them that you are very interested into it. And obviously, they do this. They go to campuses and do recruit people from there also. But yes, you can reach out to people on LinkedIn and different platforms, social platforms, and you can ask them. Yeah, that works.
Right. So I think these were all the questions from my side. Thank you so much for answering them. Let me
Yeah,
just take few of the questions from the comment section.
yeah, sure.
Yes. So guys, whoever is watching this, you can put out all your questions that you have in the comment section, and I will try to take all the different type of questions that are there. Okay. Okay, so there is a question that I am currently in third year. What should I do for off-campus placements?
Okay. If you are in third year, I believe you are from BTech background. So if you are from BTech background and you are in third year, then I think you should try and look on for a good internship. And in the last year, you can prepare and look for a job. That's what is best for you. And if you are in your final year, you're doing some BCA or some other course, for that scenario, yeah, that way you can make your good profile and try looking out for on the job portals. And yeah, obviously, off campus when you're talking about, you can also there are open drives that happens. You need to be updated through. Try right now. You should try and connect with as much people as much you can over LinkedIn, or however there are many social platforms like HackerRank or different platforms where do people connect. So try to reach out to them, and you can also try to give some coding contests that goes on. So yeah.
Right. Then also I would like to ask that we talk about what to do in an interview and what are the key points that we do. But I would like to ask, if you have to tell the three things that we should never do in an interview at OLX or any interview in general, what would it be?
Yeah, so not specific to OLX. So I'll tell you three things. One, do not just start talking about anything without following the interviewer. Like if somebody asks you something, just do not give any answer to it. If you think over it and take your time and then only answer to that question, like, does that make sense? You will not keep on saying that. That is a real turn off for interviewer when student or some guy who they are interviewing, they keep on talking about anything.
Right.
Just be specific to what you have been asked. And yeah, when you have to give your brief of your projects also, do not talk too much about it. Keep it low and keep it very brief, because they are not interested into it. They just want to know that you know things or not. So that's
Hmm.
where they are going to judge you. And the third loss would be, yeah, try to keep your communication good. I mean, communication is a key, and I've seen that there are people who are very good at technical, they have a hard time with the communication. So try to
Right.
improve the communication. That really matters. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the last point is very true. Like, I see a lot of my friends who clear all the tech rounds or online assessments where they do not have to do communication as such. But when it
Yeah.
comes to interviews or HR rounds, then it they're not able to clear those. So I think communication and soft skills play a very important role. Right.
Yes.
Then there is a question that subjects like operating system, DBMS, computer networks, are these also asked in the interview?
It depends on the type of company you are applying for. So,
Hmm.
see, if you are applying, see, if you are applying as a fresher, then yes, all these do apply. I mean, you need to. If you go through archives of, even if you will go through archives of Amazon on Geeks for Geeks, you can find lot of archives. You can find the questions over there, and there are many cheat sheets. There's one cheat sheet also for the OS preparation. So I think
Right.
the question does not go beyond that. So moreover, they ask from that only. So yeah, OS do their part, and DSA is
Yeah, for
always there.
SD1, I think if we just focus on the subjects like whatever is taught in class, or if we just focus
Yes,
on whatever is taught in college, it's more than enough,
it's
right?
more than enough. Yeah, definitely.
Right. Then Srajan has asked that if you had 4 months to prepare for DSA with basic knowledge of some algorithms, what would be your approach to crack product-based companies interview?
Yeah. Approach would be like you will have to start solving the problems. If you'll start solving two, three problems every day, that will really help. And trust me, if you will solve 10 problems in 2, 3 weeks, you will be very confident. And you will, when you will solve right, so you will feel like it's not that difficult. You will
Hmm.
start enjoying it because you have to play around with few of data structures that you have been given. So it will become interesting in the later phase, and you will keep on doing it even if you crack the interview. So that happens. And don't scare yourself from the interview process. It's very interesting, and people when I have given more than 50 interviews now. So when people start giving interviews, they'll start enjoying it, and you will learn very very much. What you have not learned in from your college, you will learn more things into the interview itself. That
Yeah.
really happens.
Yeah, actually, it happened with me also. Like, I used to scare from DSA that, okay, I won't be able to do DSA. But once I started doing it and consistently, like, I used to do 2 questions on a daily
Mhm.
basis, then I was like, okay, the logic remains the same. And from one logic, 10 questions could be made. So,
Yes.
yeah, consistency is the key. I think you should practice on a daily basis.
Yeah. Right.
Yes, I think I've taken all the questions, but still I'll wait for another 10 to 15 seconds. If you guys have any other questions, you can just put it out. Yes. Okay, so Dave is asked that I'm currently preparing for interview. How do we prepare for LLD and HLD? I have 2 years of experience in CPP, but I don't feel confident enough.
Okay, so when you talk about LLD, HLD, so yeah, for that also, you can see there are two approaches to it. Whether you want to go through the approach like whatever you have worked upon, so the projects that you have already worked upon in your 2 years of experience, you can try and build their HLD and LLD yourself, and then you can go and like there are many on the LinkedIn also, and on the Geeks for Geeks also, there are many platforms where you can find system design questions, right? So there will be questions like if you have to design Instagram reels, so how would you design it, what would be your approach? So if you will go through all those kind of system design questions, you will feel that it's not that difficult. That's the approach that matters. So they'll ask you questions like how would you scale your database? So there are many techniques into it. There is sharding and indexing, so partitioning. So they'll ask you like why do you use what. Like they can ask you questions on cap theorem also, like why do you use SQL and no SQL, if you want to answer in that way. So all those system design questions, if you start reading problems, like if you want to, there are many websites on Scalar also, they are giving you design of Netflix and for Twitter and all these articles that are going on, like how how IBO was designed, how other application was designed, what was beyond behind them. So try reading those articles, try reading how the scaling was done, what was new, how they have implemented it. So yeah, that really helps.
Right. I hope your question is answered there. Then Rohit has asked that do companies hire candidates with 2 months notice period? We can talk about OLX in specific here.
Yeah, I mean, OLX has only 1 month of notice period, and do so. It is moreover like for the probation period, it is 1 month, and then after probation, so after 6 months, it becomes 2 months. So
Okay.
when your probation period is over, and different companies have different structure. They also hire with 3 months of notice period. Some hire for 15 days, some for 1 month, some for two. Yeah, that differs from the
Yeah.
company.
Yeah, differs from. I think they can see it on the company's website or something, or they can
Yes.
contact anyone from LinkedIn and right. Okay, so there's a question that what advantages should I have for recruit in like basically product-based companies over service-based companies? Which one should we choose? Are there any advantages or not?
Yes, definitely. In product based, you will get more hands on. I mean, see, in service based also, hands on will be very much. I worked upon both. I worked in both. I worked in service based also, like Ericsson was service based, but I was working on a product there. But still, hands on will be there in both. But the concrete hands on will go on the product based only, and there you will have more flexibility to try new things. In service based, you won't get that much flexibility, and yeah, in service based the hierarchy too high. So there are people, there are very high, there are people more experienced to you, and there are many levels over you who decide things, and you have to implement it. But here you also get a chance to work from what you think, right? You can tell your seniors that like this is how I want to do it, and you can do a small POC and tell them that I will do it like this, and you can they'll give you a go ahead. Moreover, I mean, and yeah, definitely compensation is a big factor. In product companies you will get higher compensations. I mean, not always true, but yeah, I felt that.
Yeah. Okay. I think these were all the questions that were there in the comment section as well. Thank you so much again for doing it. I hope it really helps a lot of students who are watching this. Thank you so
Yeah, my
much.
pleasure. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
Bye.
everyone. Yeah, bye bye.
Okay, thank you guys for joining as well. I tried to take all the questions that were there in the comment section, but still, if any of the question is left or you still have any questions, regarding interview preparation at OLX, we will try to add Hukum's LinkedIn profile in the description box. You can maybe contact him or anyone else who is working at OLX, and yes, get your questions answered. So this was all from my side. I will see you in the next webinar. Bye bye.